Hey everyone, so I bought a 2024 Corvette C8 Z06. This specific car is, I think, rapid blue, and it came with the Z07 package. The Z07 package includes the front aggressive lip here with the canards, carbon ceramic, not the Porsche PCCB as I'm used to. Also the side skirts here, and then the rear carbon aero spoiler here. I think this is not exposed carbon, so the previous owner of this car spec'd a carbon flash, which is pretty much a painted carbon. So it has these little sparklies here. And also has a magnetic suspension or something like that on the Z07 package. The previous owner here opted for the red painted calipers. I guess he was going with the Superman theme with the red calipers and the red seats here. So this is the 1LZ model, so it's pretty much the base model. So it doesn't have the GT3 or sport seats where it has the bigger holes here for a harness. I don't know why Chevy calls the GT3 seats bucket seats when these aren't bucket seats at all, not even the highest trim. They have the power forward and aft controls. So they might have carbon on the GT2 seats, the competition seats, but it's not a bucket seat at all whatsoever, not like what you're used to with Porsche. The interior is pretty simple. It has red stitching, which comes for free with the Chevrolet Corvette. Porsche, you have to pay extra money if you want to change the stitching colors outside of silver and blue. I just drove the car, so the radiator is super loud right now. So this is the 1LZ package. It's the base model, just has the base seats, but this guy did this blue and red theme here. I don't hate it, I don't love it. It's okay, it's whatever. I mean, it's a Corvette, right? The other thing the previous owner did, and I think it's one of the very few options he got, were the painted intake covers here. It's red. I think on the normal cars, they come in black. You can see Mike Ward here. He's the engine assembly guy for this car on the LT6 here. The previous owner never took off the plastic wrap here and on the door sill, and then the airbag sticker here. So he kept this car in really good condition. It was pretty much brand new. He doesn't know that I'm gonna rat the hell out of this car, taking it to the track as much as I can. So, but it's what it's meant to be made for, so I'm sure he's gonna be happy with that. And with all of my videos, I want to be super transparent with my opinions, takes, and hot takes. I just got a check engine light. I had the car for a few weeks, 1,500 miles or less on this car, and I already threw a fault here. It's related to the transmission, so the dealership will have to figure this out. I don't really care because this car is under warranty. You know, that's why I bought this car. It's an awesome peace of mind. This is my first American car ever that I ever purchased, and this is obviously the first Corvette I've ever owned. It's a huge difference from the Porsches that I'm used to, and I'll get into a video later with all the details on that. So this video is just kind of like an introduction on this car. There's a lot of differences, a lot of stuff I love, a lot of stuff I hate, but overall, it's a pretty cool car. It's a definitely a different experience, definitely something that everyone should try. I know there are a lot of haters on the Corvette, and they have a huge stigma, you know, with the New Balance shoes and everything. But I think the C8 is different from the previous generations. Obviously, mid-engine, 670 horsepower, flat plane crank V8. I mean, 8,600 RPM. It screams. So if you do get a chance to try out the Z06, it'll put away all the stigmas that you've had about this car just as soon as you drive it. So I bought this car with about 5,000 miles. My friend Anthony and I, we picked it up from Colorado. We drove about 1,000 miles home. Thanks a lot, Anthony, for that. Put about 300 miles on this, went up to ACH like 3 or 4 times. And the only thing I've really done to this car is I transferred over the anti-gravity battery from my Porsche. It fit right away, so that was cool. I saved money on that. Saves about 30 pounds because this car is pretty heavy. It's like 36 or 3,700 pounds dry weight. The only other thing I've done to it was I added a front PPF. The full front clip is protected along with the side skirts here, the rear area above the wheels. Normally, I would usually pay someone to PPF the entire car, but honestly, I've spent so much money on PPF over the past few years. I think I want to say like 30 grand or something in PPF. Wasted money, you never get it back. For this car, since it's so cheap, I decided just how I'll try PPF on my own. And I got PPF from my friend Alex from Advanced Automotive Protective Film, based out of Fountain Valley. And he hooked me up with the PPF, I think it's Steck PPF. And I just did it myself in my garage. It's not 100%, it's not 90%, it's probably 8 out of 10, maybe, probably 7 out of 10 actually. But it does its purpose. It protects the car on track, which is why I bought this car, pretty much a track car. If you want a perfect PPF application, like you want no one to call it out if you go to Cars and Coffee and you want it to be super clean, highly recommend going to a PPF shop like Alex at Advanced Auto. If you don't care for the little seam line issues and bubbles and dirt and stuff, then just do it yourself. You save a lot of money because it takes a lot of time to get the PPF done perfect and right. So you can see like the 5-foot rule, even the 3-foot rule, this car looks good as far as the PPF. You really, don't notice any issues. So if you're okay with all the little defects and you're okay with saving a lot of money and you want to actually attempt to do something yourself, I definitely recommend doing it yourself. So let's talk about price and options. This car is significantly cheaper than a 3RS or 4S. I bought this car for $119,000 or so with new tires. And I think new ones right now are going for $15-20 below MSRP. So it's a good value. But let's talk about what we get for $119,000 here. From the factory, you get LED headlights. Porsches, you have to spec the PDLS, which is like another $3,000 or $4,000. Otherwise, you get HID headlights. So from the factory, you get PDLS equivalent LED. Although they're not auto leveling like the Porsches, I mean, it's still pretty good, right? And then you get keyless entry. I don't know how the 992 GT3s are. I don't know much about those, but at least for any of the previous generations, you don't get keyless entry. You get engine start stop remote, which is awesome. And this is kind of cool. I don't know if I love it or hate it. Well, it's not working now. I had to unlock the car. The front is soft closing. I mean, this thing is pretty light. I don't understand why they added it. That's just another thing to go wrong. And I did find some times where if you leave it unlocked for a while, this thing stops working. So you have to unlock the car for the system to restart. But soft close is kind of nice. Not necessary. I think this will break pretty soon, but you do get soft close. In addition to that, you get a soft close rear hatch, which now I think this is good because this hatch is massive. Look how huge it is, right? So I can't imagine if someone slams this, it's going to cause a lot of problems. So I think I understand why they added soft close in this one. You got to be careful with your hands here though, because it's very tight space here. But this is pretty nice for the trunk. All the vents are real. There's no fake vents. I mean, well, this is kind of fake. There's like a mesh and like a plastic or metal design above it. So that looks kind of fake, but it's an actual real vent. Same with here. I don't know what this is venting because you can see electronics in there. Here it's real here, it's real here. The side intakes here are massive. And what's interesting though is that you don't see any rocks really. I mean, there's some rocks down there, but you don't see any bugs or any marks from rocks hitting the actual fins of the radiator thing here. And I think that's probably because of the way the car is designed. Not a lot of things fly into here. With the GT3s and GT4s, this thing gets pitted with rocks on the side intakes. But here, it seems pretty clean and there's no mesh here. But I think a lot of people actually add mesh here to prevent it even further. The Z07 cars come with factory Cup 2Rs. This car had it, but they were pretty worn out, so I opted for Pilot 4Ss. These tires kind of suck at ACH, and I definitely won't track these. I figured I don't really need Cup 2Rs for the road, so this will be good for now. There's venting up here, obviously, for the engine. I think this design is kind of weird because when it rains, water is just going to go straight down here. But, this car is never going to be in the rain anyway. So as far as styling goes, it looks super aggressive. It's a little bit over aggressive. There's way too many lines everywhere, especially this little blade thing on the side here. I think Chevy was like, hey, we're gonna make this awesome new car. We have to throw everything we have at it. And they just hired like 100 designers and they didn't really think about a lot of things. But overall, it looks good to me. I like it. It looks aggressive, looks exotic. The rear end, however, looks like a Camaro to me, like the taillights, but it's fine. I don't like the rear wing, how it's pivoting down here. I think that's for visibility. I hate that. I think the 01 is higher, so I'm probably gonna get that. And then, get obviously more downforce, but that's the only thing I don't like about the styling is that part right there. The side profile looks amazing to me. It looks pretty slick. I like how mid-engine looks like an NSX, the NC1, the R8, etc. Ferrari F458. They all have the same basic mid-engine layout. The front end looks awesome. Super long, raked. The windshield is very, very low. Visibility is pretty good on the front. And it's surprising this car didn't come with front axle lift. You think that with this huge overhang that the car would hit every single curb or pothole. But you can see that the front is angled a little bit at an upward angle. So that kind of tricks you thinking that it's gonna be a long overhang, but it's actually not. So it actually clears a lot of stuff. So I think the demographic for this car are people, retirees, they don't track. They just like to cruise on Sundays and go golfing. I think that's why they made the front end like this, where it looks super aggressive, but it still clears a lot of driveways. So one huge bonus and benefit of the Corvette is that it comes with 5 lug. It's pretty much known and accepted in the Porsche world with the GT cars is center locks are dumb. I mean, Porsche says it's for racing application, but even their motorsports cars, they use different kind of center locks. So the production center locks we get are really unnecessary for the car. You require a huge torque wrench or a, torque multiplier that's thousands of dollars, and I have all that. And changing the wheels is annoying because there's a process. You have to do it off the ground. You have to apply paste and a lot of unnecessary things just for the center lock. Going to this car, I mean, it's just 5-lug and it's going to be super easy. I don't have to carry a big breaker bar everywhere I go just to, in case my tire goes flat and I have to change the wheel. So right off the bat, this is a huge benefit from the GT cars. So in a future video, I'll go over exactly what I like about this car, what I hate about this car, and there's a lot of things I hate about it, but then again, things that I love about it, it really can't reproduce with a Porsche product. So yeah, that's pretty much my video. I just wanted to give you an introduction on this car. There's gonna be a lot more content with me coming from the Porsche world into the Chevy world, coming into this platform. There's gonna be a lot of things I'm gonna tell you that I hate about this car, a lot of things I love about it, and I just wanna give everyone a real ownership experience for a guy like me where I like to track, I like canyon drives, I don't really go to Cars and Coffee much anymore. So that's where I'm coming from, where you actually get to use your car to its fullest potential on track, and even in the canyons, like 7, 8 tenths. So I'm giving you that perspective of ownership. So thanks for watching, see you soon.